Hello there. My name is David Hatch. I'm a local podiatrist here in Tucson. And my friends at Desert Sport and Fitness have invited me to talk a little bit to you about some foot concerns and how you can address them while we're all at home. I will start by addressing 4 different things concerning your feet. And then after that, I have a few tidbits of essentially world news, interesting information of good things that are happening despite everything that seems like is bad is happening with this coronavirus. The first thing that I'd like to do is let's talk about your shoes. So as everybody is now spending more and more time at home in their houses, if you live in the Southwest here, chances are you're standing all day or most of the day on some tile or concrete. If you don't have a pair already, you're likely quickly coming to realize that you need a pair of house shoes. You don't have to buy new shoes. You can use a pair of shoes that are already worn in and you just clean them. The thing about house shoes is they stay inside the house. What I recommend to patients who come and see me is that they buy a comfortable yet ugly pair of shoes. That way they don't wear them outside. Now, if you like flip-flops, that's fine. If you need some support, there are supportive sandals as well to give you some relief as well as for your toes. If you happen to have diabetes, it's even more important that you have a pair of house shoes to protect your toes. Something as simple as the style of Crocs. It's a light foam that protects the toes, and if anything happens to be inside them, you can easily dump it out. The point of all of this is, as you're at home, you're not on the terrain that you're used to being on. Different types of asphalt, sometimes a trail, going up and down into stores. You're just at your house. So getting some relief from your the stress and strain of simply being at home will really help you feel alive and possibly rejuvenated during the day. The second is, I see a lot of patients from here as well, who come to me discussing heel pain and plantar fasciitis. As we've discussed before, I'll recommend everyone else too, you can simply internet search heel pain stretches, and there's a whole list and probably some long YouTube videos on how to address your heel pain. What I tell all of my patients is that you need to do this several times a day. You need to stretch. Some people, I ask them to set a timer, it's that bad, that they stretch 8 to 10 times a day to help relieve the pain you get on the bottom of your heel as well throughout your arch. If you start to experience this because you're at home on unusual flooring, first, make sure you have a pair of house shoes, and second, search for these simple stretches that you can do at home on your free time, and do them often. The third is Desert Sports and Fitness is doing a series of virtual workouts. When you're at home, please use supportive shoes even though you're at home. The environment is different. There aren't rubber floors. Maybe you're on carpet, but your foot function still needs the support that it gets from supportive athletic shoes. Don't be fooled into thinking that because you're at home, your body may act differently. No matter what you're doing, even if it's upper body, lower body, or sitting, make sure you have good supportive shoes on to help you get through exercises safely and efficiently. And the last thing concerning feet that I'd like to talk about today is the quarantine graze. I do this. So individuals who have diabetes are subject to or can experience complications of their diabetes if blood sugar gets too high. What I've been trying to stop myself from doing is, while I am stuck at home, is I will limit myself to the appropriate meals that we have planned. If you have diabetes and are at home, if you notice that you're experiencing boredom that prompts you to graze, or eat a little of this, eat a little of that, find something constructive to do with your time. Remember, it's crucial to control your blood sugar to decrease the risk of complications of your diabetes. If you have diabetes, check your feet every day for sores, wounds, blisters, or areas of redness. My office is located on Speedway in Wilmot here in Tucson. If you feel you have a complication of your diabetes or something that needs to be seen despite home quarantine, please call us. My company is the Sonoran Foot and Ankle Institute. It's a division of Saguaro Surgical. And we'll post our phone number on this link as well. Now, while we're all going through this, home quarantine, coronavirus cases, and in a lot of cases, fatalities, there's a lot to process, a lot to think about. And sometimes it's very difficult to see that there are still really good things happening in the world. I compiled a list of things that are going on that are positives, maybe, secondary to this. For example, the world is now experiencing a decrease in pollution that it hasn't had for nearly a century. The skyline of Manila now, you can see that there is the beautiful skyscrapers which were frequently hidden by black smog. Dolphins, which have been nearly completely absent for about a century, have begun to return to the canals in Venice, Italy. The Himalayas, the mountain range which was once hidden by a mask of pollution for over 30 years, hasn't been visible from India. And now over 100 miles away in India, you can see the pristine mountain range. A recent Forbes report estimated that the drastic reduction of pollution in China has likely saved the lives of over 77,000 people who would otherwise succumb to the ravages of air contamination. How awesome, and what an interesting side effect to all of this. One last thing is, in Thailand, there's been such a drastic decrease in tourism that they're now reintroducing once captive elephants to the wilderness in Thailand. We're seeing goodwill all around us. The late Mr. Rogers said, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.'" Just this last week, a Canadian Boy Scout took it upon himself to 3D print dozens of ear guards, which hold the straps on masks to help healthcare workers from the fatigue they were experiencing from their masks. Hundreds of people have begun to do so as well. To date, there have been hundreds of thousands of face masks to protect healthcare workers that have been printed by individuals at home and donated to those facilities. Around town here, including at our office, we've received donations of hand-sewn face masks to help protect us. Something called Operation PPE, or Personal Protective Equipment, has created several thousands of face masks that are delivered to healthcare facilities. Celebrities have raised millions, including Lady Gaga most recently raised up to over $35 million for the cure and treatment of coronavirus. And what's not to love about this? Little Caesars Pizza started a Pie It Forward campaign in which they're donating at least 1 million pizzas in the fight against coronavirus. I'm not sure how that'll help, but if it comes to my door, I accept. In the arts, look this up for yourself, please, while you're at home. The YouTube channel, The Shows Must Go On, is a site where the theatrical musicals by Andrew Lloyd Webber can be viewed for free, including the famous ones like Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, the Jesus Christ Superstar, and Phantom of the Opera. Please look this up. It's hilarious and awesome. The Getty Museum, Getty, Museum Online, is exploring human creativity in quarantine by challenging people to recreate their favorite paintings with whatever they have available at home. I saw one, it was the Madonna and Child, and it was a lady with a towel on her head holding her dog, which was looking up at her. And they compared the two. It was uncanny and hilarious. So if you have time, look that up. As far as other religious accommodations to what we're experiencing now, in Ireland and the UK, there's something called Cedar to Go, which is a program to help deliver a package to those who are preparing to celebrate Passover in the upcoming week. Additionally, in New Zealand, the Prime Minister had declared that the Easter Bunny was an essential employee who would be allowed to work throughout the coronavirus epidemic. As we get through this, there's a lot to think about. A lot of us will go through varying emotions. Some of us will have really hard times. Some of us won't. Know that that's okay. The late Mr. Rogers additionally said upon his death that we should remember that feelings are natural and normal, and that happy times and sad times are a part of everyone's life. I hope this message has brought you some happiness, that you have some information to help keep your feet safe and healthy while at home. We will get through this together, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you very much.